Yeah. Okay. So I'll just all of you are able to launch LabView now. All of you are able to do this. Do that. Please do let me know.
Yes, sir.
Yes, right. Okay, fine. Let me just launch. Right. Yeah. So it takes some time. Yeah. Even mine it is launched. Right. I'll just share this screen straight away, and we'll start. Maybe I'll share my entire screen. That would be better, I think. Right. I'll share my entire screen. You're able to see, okay, well, I think it's, you're able to see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now when you open LabView, when you open a blank VI, you will get like this. You have a front panel, the one with actually what these grids, that is called front panel, and the other one is called block diagram, right? So this front panel is where we'll fit in all our controls and indicators. For instance, do you have any idea for what LabView is used actually mainly? Now LabView can be used for many things. Mainly, it initially it was used for automations, right? So maybe some industry will be there, wherein there will be some boiler, right? Wherein that entire thing, if it has to be automated, you'll connect some sensors to the boiler. Whenever the temperature reaches a certain threshold, or whenever pressure reaches a certain valve should be closed or opened, right? So that what you can do, you can use real sensors, and using some data acquisition hardwares, you can actually what read the sensor data into the computer, right? And that can be read by LabView, right? And depending upon that sense data, what has to be done, that program you can write in LabView. It's like any other programming language, right? The difference is it's a drag and drop thing, right? It's a drag and drop thing. So if you are using some indicators, right, say a bulb, right, or some controls like switch, right, so that will come in this front panel, right? So normally when you open this front panel and the block diagram, it will come like this. So if you want to what align it side by side, you press control T. If you press control T, it will be aligned side by side, right? So you can see this right now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So now what we'll do is our project basically needs say three LEDs, right? In our front panel, there will be only three LEDs. So when you right click on this front panel, right, you will get a set of controls and indicators. So control means that will be input device, right? Controls will be input device. We'll have switches, right, or those things. And indicators are like bulbs, LEDs, and all those things. So we have these many categories, right? So numeric category is there. In numeric, we have actually what we can enter a number, right? A numeric control is there. Numeric controls and numeric controls and indicators are there, wherein we can enter numbers as input, right? So it can be a knob, right, or it can be a display or whatever. So we can give numeric values as input, right? But in this we'll be using boolean values, right? Boolean is either on or off, right? So we'll be using LEDs here. So you can see under boolean you can see LEDs. You can place LEDs along with me only. You can place LEDs. So what you have to do is you have to right click on this front panel, then you go to just place your mouse cursor on boolean if you right, and then this all the set of indicators and controls under boolean will come here. So in that you have to select round LED. So we have other options also. We'll select round LED. So just click on that, then you can place it anywhere you want, right? You can place it anywhere you want. Then if you select this, you can just drag this and actually what enlarge this, right? So this is our first LED, and if you click on this name, right, if you double click on that name, you can rename it. So I'll give it actually what, red, right? I'll name it red. Then what I'm doing is I'm just selecting it, right? Just drag with my mouse and select that. Then I'm going to copy and paste. I need 3 LEDs, right? One red, one yellow, and one green, right? So I'll select 3 LEDs in the front panel. You can see whenever I'm selecting an LED in front panel, right, the corresponding symbol is appearing in block diagram. Here is where we'll make connections, right? This is only actually what the display part, right? Display part of the project, right? So and in block diagram we'll make connections. So now this is right, an LED. Even though it is green, we'll change the color later. Initially we need to place 3 LEDs on the front panel. That is what we are going to do, right? So we have selected first LED. Then now I'm going to Control C, right? Then click somewhere on the front panel, right? Then again give Control V, right? So you can see, right, it's getting pasted. Again one more Control V if you give. So now we have 3 LEDs. You can actually what, place it uh, wherever you want, right? You can place it, you select it and move it. You can place it wherever you want, right? Now what we need to do is, first one is red, second one I'll make yellow, right? So this labeling is important so that we'll get to know in block diagram which block is corresponding to which, right? So second one I'll give yellow. So because of time constraint, what I'll do is I'll just explain this project, right? So maybe later we'll see in detail, right? So this project will finish up fast, but it will give you an idea. That's what I believe, right? Red, yellow, and green, right? I'm naming it red, yellow, and green. All of you are able to see this, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. All of you are able to see this. Now, maybe what we can do is initially a few steps you can watch, then you can try it out. That also would be fine, right? So now, how to change the color? You can just right click on this, right? If you just right click on any LED and you go to properties, right? Go to properties of that, then you can see colors. If it is on, this is the color. If it is off, this is the color. Can you see this? On and off. So now what if it is off, right? We'll make a sort of actually what, gray. If it is off, let gray be the color. And if it is on, we want it to be red, right? For red LED, if it is on, we want the color to be red. So you can select, maybe I'll select this particular red, right? So I've selected this, I've given OK. So now if you tap on that, you can see, okay, you tap somewhere outside, right? So on and off. So when I tap, if it is on, it will be red. If it is off, it is green. So this one again, you select properties, right? Go to properties, then color off. It should be a gray or any color you can choose, right? And if it is on, it should be yellow. I am choosing this, but there is actually what, a scale of colors from where you can pick, right? If you place your mouse cursor there, you can pick colors from there. So you can pick, right? Then uh, here again you can see it's changed. So similarly, this is green, so we don't have to change anything, but maybe off color will change for our convenience, right? Off color will change. If it is off, we'll make it gray, right? So that's all we need on the front panel. So we need 3 LEDs. Now what we need to do is we need to automate it, right? you need to initially red should be on. So what we'll do is we'll keep red on for say 6 seconds, then we'll keep yellow on for say 4 seconds, and we'll keep green on for say 10 seconds, right? So that's what we are going to do, right? So for that, right, so initially before that we'll see how to on or off an LED, right? How to on or off an LED. So this LED is an say indicator, right? So to control this indicator we need controls, right? Switches, right? For that what we can do is, if right, you can see there is only one input to this, right? Only one input to this. When you place your mouse cursor there, you can see a wire bundle appearing. Can you see that? Are you trying it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what you do is just place your mouse cursor there and right click, right? If you place your mouse cursor there and if you right click, you'll get some options, right? It will give create constant, create control, right? Create indicator. So already this is an indicator. So now what we have to do is we have to create a control, right? So if you click create a control, a boolean, sorry, I pressed create a indicator, sorry, right? So place there, right click, and you have to press create a control again. Okay, one second. One second. Control Z, Control Z, right? So now we have to right click and create. Okay, you can create a constant, right? You can create a constant. So this is either constant in the sense it can be either true or false. So can you see this? One small a boolean button appeared here, a constant. So I can toggle it by pressing on that. If I press that, it will become false or true, right? So you can create a constant. To this red LED, you have created a constant, right? So now again for these other two LEDs also we'll create a constants, right? Create constant, right? Create constant, right? So this is a actually this is a shortcut, right? Otherwise in LabView we have different data types. We have a Boolean, a numeric, we have a string type, we have say other like mixed type of data sets and all, right? So we should know if otherwise what we can do is this controls also, if we know what kind of controls are required, we can actually what right click on this, right? And if you go to Boolean, right, there is actually what constant is there. If you know which constant need to be selected, you can do that. But otherwise the easiest method is actually what you just place the wire bundle there, right click, whichever you want to create, right click and create that. So now what we'll do is we'll just run. So this we'll just try and run. So now in this case, right, this constant, right, green I have kept off, yellow I have kept off. By clicking on that, you can toggle it to true or false. Now if I run this, what should happen? Right, if I run this, there is two options. One is run and other one is run continuously. If I give only run, it will run for one time and stop. So now I am going to use run continuously. That is actually what that cyclic thing, right? So you can see only red is glowing, other two are off. Are you able to do this? All of you are trying parallelly, or you'll do it later?
Yes, sir. We are getting that.
You're getting. If you are not able to try it parallelly, you can do it later also. Just tell me whichever is convenient for you. Others are quite. I'm not right. Pratiksha, Ajay, and Shivprasad, Dhanyashri.
Sir, we'll try it later. Now
Okay, we can try it later then. Okay, fine. So then what I'll do is I'll show it fast. I'll make this recording available. You can try it later. Would that be fine?
yes, sir.
Okay, fine. That I think, yeah, that would be better then. Right. So now it works, right? So now I'll stop this. I'll abort it, right? What we want to do is initially this red should be on, then red should be on for say some uh, 5 seconds or 6 seconds, right? So then we need yellow to be on, then we need green to be on, right? So first thing is this only. First one is this, but how to give delay in this, right? How to give delay, all those things you should know, right? So to give delay on block diagram, if you right click, right, And if you go to this, say, structures, no, not structures, we have timing, yeah. If you right click on this block diagram and click on timing, there are actually what different types of delays. Now what we need to do is, once red should be on, we should wait for say 5 seconds. So you can see there is something called wait millisecond, right? You can see something called wait millisecond, right? So you can select that, right? You can place it here, right? Select that and place it here. And for this you should give how many milliseconds, right? So if you keep the wire bundle to the next left of this, you can see actually what you should give the input as milliseconds to wait, and the right hand side it's actually what milliseconds timer value. If you want to display the timer value, right, you can display it here, but we need only actually what how many milliseconds it should wait. So for that, again, you place the mouse cursor there, right click and create a constant, right? Create a constant. So here I should give value in milliseconds. So if I have to wait 5 seconds, it should be 5000 millisecond. Be 5000 millisecond, right? So this is what should happen, right? So but how to do it sequentially? So you have seen many loops, right? So normally what you will do in if you are writing a C program or something, right, you will keep a count, right, for timer. Then you will increment the count, right? When the count reaches here, it should go to the next state, right? So similarly in LabView also we have certain loops, right? So if you go to structures, you can see loops. We have for loops, we have while loop, right? We have case structure, switch case we have seen, right? Then we have event structure, right? And we have flat sequence. This is what we are going to use here, right? This flat sequences, right? You can define, right, a sequence of events, right? So it's like yeah, I'll just select this. I'll just the sequence. I'll put everything inside this flat sequence. So in this, initially when I run, whatever is there within this box will happen, right? Then what I can do is, if I initially this red is on for 5 seconds and these two are off for off, then what I can do is, if I place my mouse pointer on anywhere on the frame of this flat sequence and right click, right, I have an option, add frame after, right? What you should do, I'll tell once again, you should keep, right, your mouse pointer on anywhere on the frame and right click, right? There is an option called add frame after, right? So just add frame after. So now you got a new frame, right? New frame. So how it works is, initially whatever is there in the first frame will work, then whatever is there in the second frame will work, right? So now what I should do is, these three LEDs I have to place within this frame also. Can I copy paste to this second frame? Shall we try and copy paste that? Let's see what happens, right? Maybe I'll copy these things, right? This entire thing I'll copy and I'll paste it inside this, right? See, additional LEDs are appearing on my front panel. Do we want that to happen? You don't want that to happen, right? So I'll just do Control Z, right? What we can do is, we have something called local variables, right? So this is right. These LEDs, right? I have to use. I want the same LEDs, same set of LEDs in front panel to go on and off. I don't want actually what different sets of LEDs for different sequences, right? For that we have something called say local variable. So I need to create local variables of this red, yellow and green LEDs, right? I need to create local variables. So this is analogous or similar to whatever you have learned in your programming, other programming languages. So how to create local variables? One option is, right, right click on whichever control or indicator you want, and you can see under create. So here there is an option called create, right? There are certain options: constant, controlled, indicator, local variable, right? You can see. So I'll repeat, right? If you want to create a local variable of red, what you should do is, one option is, right, go to that, right click and go to create, right, and create a local variable, right? So and it will create a local variable of that red. So when I place that, you can see no additional LED is being placed on the front panel, right? So it is same, right? If I make any change here, it will be affecting this LED only, right? So right. So then this is one option, right? Another option is, right, you can simply right click, you place the mouse pointer somewhere on the block diagram, simply right click, and if you go to structures, right, if you go to structures, you can see a local variable here, right? Local variable is there, global variable is there, right? So you can see a local variable here. Like that also you can select, right? You keep and place a local variable, but in this local variable you can see there is a question mark. But when you click on that, it will show which local variable, which one you should make. So next you can select, right? It should be yellow, right? So then like that, one more local variable I'll select, go to structures, right? Select local variable, you place it here, right? It should be, say, green, right? And for this also we can give actually what, constants, boolean constants. To create a constant, right? Here again create constant, right? Here again create constant, right? So now in this case what should happen is red should be off, yellow should be on, and green should be green should be off, right? And maybe this delay I can copy paste, not a problem, right? Delay modules, I'll just copy paste this delay part, right? So we'll give say we can give a 4-second delay, right? Or 3-second delay. 3-second delay we'll give, right? So then next what you should do is, right, again add frame after. That's what you can do. You can repeat it, right? You can repeat it, right? Now shall we run and see this? What should happen now? Initially red should be on for 5 seconds, then yellow should be on for 3 seconds, then you know how to add sequence after, right? So now I'll run continuously. You can see what happens. Red is glowing. Oh, sorry, by mistake I've kept this green also on, right? So maybe I'll stop this, right? I should have made this green off, right? Green off, right? Then what I should do is I should add sequence after, right? I should add sequences after, right? Add sequence after, add frame after, right? Then now maybe we'll try and copy paste what happens, right? So these things we'll copy paste. Let's see what happens. No, it copy paste won't work, right? So don't do that. Again, you create variables, right? Just right click, go to structures, create local variable, right? And one more local variable you create, go to structures, create local variable, right? So now we can select which one is this. This should be red, and this should be yellow, and this should be green, right? And similarly create constants. So it's just like actually what, how we do programming. It doesn't have any what syntax, right? It's just like actually what, drag and drop. That is the difference, right? It's just drag and drop. That is the difference. It's just like any other programming, right? We have loop, we'll write loops and all those stuffs, right? Here also we have loops and all those stuffs, right? So Control C, Control V, right? So maybe we'll keep this yellow on for say green on for some 6 seconds, right? So that's it. Now it will repeat. Now if you are writing, it's a very simple program, right? It's a very simple program. If you're like yesterday a session, you might have seen that program for that monitoring the parameters of grease. That was a very huge program. So when you are using such when you're doing some very large program, right? If it is kept in a flat sequence, right? It will be difficult. So for that, what you can do is, right, you can just uh, there is an option called replace with stacked sequence, right? Now it is timed sequence, one after the other, right? Maybe what you can do is you can replace it with stacked sequence. So you can see it's only one thing is visible here. Now we have different cases, case 0, case 1, and case 2. Here you can see it showing 0 of case 0, 1, and 2, right? So it is 0th case. Now you can move to next case. So in 0th case, this is what should happen. In next case, this is what should happen. In next case, this is what should happen, right? So in second case, what should happen? Actually, red is off, only yellow is on, right? In third case, red is off, yellow is off, and green is on, right? So this is maybe you are given only 5 minutes of time. So this project would be more than sufficient for you, right? So and for this you should know the flat sequence. You should know the concept of like say local variable and all, right? I'm not given you an overall idea, but for this project, what is required? Yeah, discuss, right? So now what we'll do is, right, maybe you can, yeah, just uh, take some, you can go to decoration, right? Decoration and take some frame, right? A flat frame you can take, right? And you can put this entire thing within a frame, right? You can do some beautification, right? You can do maybe alignment and all those things you can do, right? And even what you can do is you can generate a .exe file, that is executable file, wherein you can install this app in Windows, right? So that option is there, right? But now, so now we'll just run it continuously, right? So it's red, yellow, green for 6 seconds. Then again, it should repeat, right? So this is what is happening, right? So now, if you go to file, or okay, if you go to project, okay, operate tools, maybe we'll try and see how to export it into a .exe file, right, later. But I think for the time being, we'll wind up here. You have class at 11 right now, 11:15 or 11? What time is your class?
11:30, sir.
11:30. Okay, fine.
30.
Yeah. So this would be a simple enough project. So someone has typed something I didn't see. Some may know what is the delay of each transition from red to yellow and so on. Yeah. So it's maybe now red. I'll just type in here. Red will be on for say 5 seconds. Then yellow on for 4 seconds, and green on for say 6 seconds. You can decide whatever, right? So this is what we have done here. This is the project, right? So in any other doubt in this, right? You have to present it, right? You have to present it, this thing, right? Maybe as an introductory project you can do this. If you want to do some other project, you're free to do that, right? Maybe if you want me to help out in that, that also can be done, right? So now about this project, what's your opinion, right? It's a very simple one, right? But it can give you some idea on how LabView works, right? All of you are there, right? I think maybe you can try it out, right? I'll show the block diagram part. I'll just make it a time sequence instead of stacking it up, right? Replace view of, okay. Okay, I'm going to replace it with flat sequence, right? So this is the VI, right? Normally the program, the graphical program which we write in LabView, we used to call it actually what VI, right? Virtual instruments, right? So this is the program, right? And this is the say output part, right? Are you trying it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can try it out. If any doubt is there, I'll be there online. Right. If any doubt is there, you can ask. Should I maybe I'll show the block diagram part. Right. I'll show the block diagram part.
So how did you merge those frame into one?
For that, what you should do is you should place your mouse pointer on the anywhere on the structure, right, frame, and right click. Then you will get an option replace with stacked sequence. Replace with stacked sequence, right? You can stack one
Yeah, I
upon
got
the
it.
other, right? So and if you want to go out of that again, same thing, right click, right? Then there is an option replace, right? Replace with flat sequence, right?
Thanks, sir.
Okay, and actually, normally while we are writing this, what you should do is this entire thing. Now what we are doing is we are running it continuously, right? LabView is running it continuously, right? If you abort it in LabView, it stops. But normally, when you are writing a program to automate a factory or something, what you should do is this entire thing should be within a while loop. Right. I'll just show that. Right. I'll just show that. Right. This entire thing should be within a while loop, and you should give an option to what stop this. So maybe late, you can. I ask you to try that. How to, right? Put this entire thing. While loop, it's easy. Right. What you do is you just go to structures. Inside that we have while loop, right? Or if you want this to happen, say for 10 times, then you can use a for loop, or even you can use a while loop, right? So take a while loop, right, and just put everything inside that while loop. That's it. Oh my, yeah. Sorry, yeah. Everything inside a while loop. That's it. This entire thing should be within a while loop, and you can give some condition when it should stop, right? But in this case, one problem is there. If you create a control, right? So I took a while loop. Please see here, right? So what I did is I took a while loop, right? And in this while loop, right, I have a provision to give an input, right, to stop this while loop execution, right? So what I have done is I have used a button, a stop button, right? I've used a stop button, right? And you can see in our front panel also a stop button came. But what happens is it will stop. So now when I click this, till now what I was doing is I was running it continuously, right? That was being done by LabView. LabView was running it continuously. But whenever if you are writing a Arduino program or something, the program which has to be executed, it comes within a void loop, right? It will loop infinite number of time, right? So similarly here also you should put entire thing inside a while loop, right? But we should have, as it is actually what mostly factory automation and all, right? If something wrong happens, we should have a provision to stop also. So we have a provision to stop this, right? So now if I run it once, it will be like run continuously. You can see this, right? You're running it once, it will run. It's continuously running. Why? Because I have put it inside a while loop. But if I want to stop this, I have a provision to stop. So if I give stop, you can see when it stops. I've already pressed stop, right? Right. So it stops only after actually what one complete execution of the sequence. right? Say if it is some like paper mill or something, wherein there is some setup to squeeze out the say pulp or something, and if one person's hand goes inside that, and if you press stop, it should stop immediately, right? If it completes one revolution and after that it is stopping, it is of no use actually, right? So when you use a while loop and press stop, you can see it stops only after one complete execution of the flat sequence. So you can just think of whether you can do something. You just Google how can you, right? So maybe you will have to create some variables, right? Say global variable or local variable, and so that whenever you press that, it terminates the sequence. It's up to you, right? But that is not required for our project. Maybe right. You can just think how it can be done. Right. If all are able to do, right, that would be great. So for LabView, I think this project would be more than sufficient. Right. It's only 5 minutes each institution has. Right. All of you should be ready to present. So maybe one of you can take lead and present. In fact, I was while I was doing my UG, I was lucky enough to do my final project in LabView. I did it in ISRO, Trivandrum. Right. It was there was an apparatus called Dayglow photometer. It is a very huge apparatus which uh, occupies a big room in the sense of say a 3,000 square feet room. Right. What it does is it just collects light, right, through a prism from say which is coming from the ionosphere or some, like which is coming from sun, and by analyzing that light, it can be used for actually what to predict the climate change or sort of steps, right? So initially that automation was done using a DOS system, right? Our we got a project. Our aim was to automate it using LabView. At that time, we didn't know anything about LabView, right? We went there, right? So something we did. It was not a complete project, but right, it was a good experience. So you'll be one option is you will get many demos and manuals. You can sit and start reading from the beginning, right? But it takes time. Another option would be do some projects, right? Do some projects so that you will learn. But the what after you do one or two projects, you will get some idea. Then you should go back and read something so that your knowledge will have some depth, right? Otherwise, it will get limited to being able to do only a single project, right? I believe all are trying out.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you can try out. And if someone want to share screen and show, that also would be fine. Should I stop sharing screen?
Okay, sir.
Right, you finished, Sherwin?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then you can just show your this
Okay.
VI. Right, yeah. Okay, you are logged in from mobile and you were doing it in PC. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay, fine. Others are getting. What about Manish, Dhaneshri, Shiv Prasad, Pratiksha?
Doing, sir.
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah.
So the flag structure is more like an frame, like an animation, right?
Flat structure is, yeah, like an animation. Maybe you can tell that it's not exactly a loop, right? It's like yeah, like how you do animation in PPT and all, right? Initially this should appear, then this should happen, then this should happen, right? Flat sequence,
Okay.
right? So it's whatever you put in the first uh, like section, it will execute first. It's rather than you calling it a flat sequence, you can call it a timed sequence, right? You can define a sequence of event which should happen.
Thanks, sir.
Right now, LabView, it's not only used for automation, it can be used for machine learning, it can be used for image processing, it can be used for communication, right? And suppose you want to, right? So now you might have got some idea what can be done in LabView, right? So instead of these, right, say true or false things, or instead of having a simulation of LED, you can directly control an LED, right? An LED which is physically available, you can control it. For that, you need an additional hardware that is called actually what? My DAC. DAC is nothing but what? Data acquisition, right? So it's not only NI DAC card is there. If you have that DAC card, you can interface it with PC, and you can actually what? Connect physical hardware. It will again have many digital and analog input output pins, right? Like how we are doing, we are using Arduino, right? This DAC also will have these things. Like, and if you want, you can rig up a circuit in multi-sim, right? And what you can do is you can co-simulate it using LabView. That circuit part will be there in multi-sim, but some information what is required, it will be the control part will be happening in LabView. That is also possible, right? And LabView, it's of course a bit costly, but in many industries they are using. And if you are good in LabView, there are many jobs awaiting you people, right? But for that, you should do some LabView certifications, right? So there are certifications of, I think there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels or something, right? If you finish that certification, right, it's good. And unlike previous years, some of your seniors even they even have done some internship in LabView, but they have done it like machine learning using LabView, how to like acquire an image, right? So how to classify it into cats and dogs, something like that they have done. Yeah, all others are getting. Sherwin, if you are done, right? If you want to leave, you can leave. Right. Others
Thanks, sir.
also are still doing and they have doubt can stay back. Right. Yeah, have you used LabVIEW before? Anyone? Manish, Dhanishri?
No, sir, only PowerShell
No,
Proton.
sir.
Okay, okay, fine. Yeah.